right, it's 6 p.m. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 members of the commission present. I am therefore opening the July 6, 2021 meeting of the Rutland Conservation Commission. Before we begin, a reminder, or notice for that matter, that we are available on Zoom as posted in the agenda. We are being broadcast and recorded for rebroadcast on public television. We should probably get to see. Come on. There we go, there's our agenda. So let's start with the meeting minutes of June 15.
Motion to approve as written.
The only change that I had to make was at 165 Cannon. She just switched what was exempt. She wrote the land versus activities.
Ah, okay.
So that's the only change.
Any other comment? Actually, how about a second?
Oh, second.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Alrighty, any other notes? Then, roll call.
Clock eye.
Dan's eye.
Gentillucci, aye. Crane abstain. Passes.
Yay.
That was a nice easy one. Let us now begin with these requests for a certificate of compliance from Lisa Lucas, 14 Orchard Hill Drive. Wow, is this old? So let's start with the request form. I mean, it's a straightforward request. What I found fascinating is when I went into the orders, that the orders were issued in '87, not actually put in the Registry of Deeds until 2002. But these are the old days. It looks, my interpretation of this set of orders is that it's an order for the entire development and not just for this one address. Melissa, what's our best way to proceed? Do we just do another partial? I don't even know how many are left.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. It didn't work very well when I was trying to put them together because I couldn't find the original one of how many original lots it included. So we can either issue a partial for this specific lot or just go for the gusto and do a full.
Well, I mean, there are real there are real considerations of this. This was done so many years ago. We really wouldn't have an enforcement leg to stand on if we tried anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, usually when I hit this type of one, if it's been so long and if it's been, especially if it's been accepted by the town, I forget which one this is, then we usually issue just the full and get it over with.
I'm all in favor of that, that's fine.
Because I think there was like 30 partials.
Yes, oh, it goes on to every one of these darn pages.
It's a lot.
So, so I'd like a motion.
Motion to issue a full certificate of compliance for DP 277-52.
Second.
Roll call. Gentillucci.
Aye.
Dan's eye.
Clock eye.
Crane eye. Done.
You just get rid of it, revisiting that over if you don't waste the time.
Now we have a notice of intent submission for Jim Harity, 151 Turkey Hill. Is he here?
He's on Zoom, Peter.
Is he on Zoom? Oh, that's Jim.
Good evening.
How you doing today?
Doing well.
Do I have this plan right here? Is this the right one? Oh, that's the
Should be in
NOI.
there with the septic plan.
Yes, am I showing the correct plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, just give us a once-over, please, for the project.
So this lot, I have a building permit already. The original design had the house sitting back about 50 feet and the septic system in front of the house. But the grades just aren't going to work. So the plan was one thing, but reality was another.
Mm-hmm.
And so the plan just didn't work. So this one shows the leach field to the right of the house and about 15 to 20% into the 100-foot buffer. To the right of this is 153 Turkey Hill Road, which has a notice of intent on it that I got 2 weeks ago, I believe, or a week ago. So there is a driveway right at the property line there, and then the silk fence is for 153 is just probably 20-30 feet off of the pin that's shown right there.
Okay.
So there is a crossing in between mine and the other buffer zone that I have a order of conditions on.
Was that last time?
Yes.
At the last meeting? Right, okay. I also noticed there's another 100, well, the property, you can see the wetland up here, and there's no work going on back here, right?
That's correct.
What is the limit of work? Because there's a well here.
So the limit of work is just on the other side of that well.
And
And
Yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yes, so what I have cleared already is pretty much like what is behind the house. Behind the field is still woods.
Okay. So the work is really gonna be pretty much this area that encompasses all the grading and sort of has an offshoot for this well.
That's correct.
Okay. Other questions from the commission?
Is the stone wall staying?
In the back section, yes.
All right, Tamika, put it on the next meeting's agenda, please. Thanks, Jim. We'll see you next time in,
Okay.
it's in 2 weeks.
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Presentation to come back 2 weeks ago, perhaps.
Okay. And now, submissions are done, hearing, so now this is not a hearing, right? This is just,
Technically not, no.
this is just the meeting for the request for determination of applicability for Stephen Lang at 277 Pommogussett Road. I think I have both plans here. This is one, how well was this introduced last time? I assume it was submitted last time.
It wasn't, no, if you remember, Steve had come to us and, he ended up going back to Mark and they came to us with an RDA. I received it in enough time to publish it,
Okay.
so it has been published.
All right, so well then let's just start at the beginning. Oh, look, here's Mark. He may have something to say. We'll see if. So I'll ask who's here to talk for 277 Pommogussett.
Yes, I'm here, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, sorry there.
My goodness, it doesn't get much better timing than that, does it?
Hit it on the head, huh? So yeah, this is an RDA. It's an old septic design permitted through DCR. This area subject to flooding is right on the cusp of actually having a volume. It's just slightly under, as per the calc on the plan, with some limited bordering vegetated wetlands in the rear of the site. So the only impact here will be some very limited grading in the 100-foot buffer of the wetland in the rear.
Now
And,
I'm gonna bring up the other plan also,
Yeah,
because it,
and there'll be
yeah,
really no impact to the area, subject to flooding in the front.
Driveway, that's what the same thing.
And that's without a buffer under the jurisdiction.
mhm.
So that's why we move forward with the RDA rather than a notice of intent, just because any jurisdictional work is very limited.
Septic's way back here, this is here, driveway, yeah. Questions or comments from the commission?
So it looks like the area closest to the BLSF is graded towards it though. Is there, how big is the roof going to be?
Sorry, say that again?
How big is the roof going to be? What's the roof area for for impervious?
Oh, I don't have the roof area calculated.
Okay.
I believe this is the final house plan on the site plan, which is a little bit different than what's on the old septic design.
Yeah, the one in the septic design should be bigger, I believe, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah,
is it correct?
yeah.
So I didn't calculate the roof area. What's calculated on the site plan is the actual volume of the area subject to flooding, just to
Mm-hmm.
do the calculation as to whether it's a jurisdictional area subject to flooding, or whether it's just a low point that's non-jurisdictional. It does calc out to be just under. And that's the purpose of the topography on the site plan.
Right, so where I think Melissa's going, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it's with the grading set up that all the runoff from this house is going to go that away.
Yes. That is correct.
And where's the
the-
daylight
the-
drain?
So
I assume there'll be a daylight drain here somewhere.
yeah, the design is so that the lot, house, and driveway are well above Pommogussett Road. It's basically an old gravel pit,
Mm-hmm.
and in one area they did a lot of over excavation. So
I
it's
can
right
ask
at
what's-
the water table.
What's happening around here? I know that it's not on this well, maybe it is on this property. Is this,
So it's a very steep knoll on
Okay.
both sides. I think they left a buffer when they operated as a gravel pit. So it's the actual bound for the Pommogussett Road right away is about the top of that knoll.
okay,
So they probably took what was on private property and not on the public right away. And the low point is gonna remain the same, basically at the driveway entrance
mm-hmm.
at Pommogussett Road.
Other questions or comments?
Would you consider putting gutters and dry wells for the roof infiltration?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question for the owner, but certainly something to consider. In this case, it all does flow to the area subject to flooding, so in this case, I think it's already being infiltrated. So I don't know that there'd be a huge benefit here, but, that'd be more, I couldn't answer that.
Okay.
Since we have so many members of the public, does anyone from the public have questions or comments on this?
Mark, is that an erosion control barrier at the bottom of the slope?
Assume
It
right
looks
along
like,
here.
yeah, it looks like, it's hard to read, it looks like it's labeled silt fencing.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the old septic design.
Okay.
Yep. I believe there's some in the rear protecting the bordering vegetated wetland in the rear. But since it's not my design, I don't want to comment too much on it, but
Right.
if you're not comfortable with it, it's something that can be conditioned potentially.
So the septic work and the site work is the same on the septic plan, but you just, I guess, what's the difference between the two site plans? I don't understand why there's
So-
two.
The filing is basically based on the septic design.
Okay,
And part of the commission's inquiries when the owner went for a building permit was,
if it even
what work is
qualified.
jurisdictional?
Yep.
Because it does show some limited grading within the 100-foot wetland buffer,
Mhm.
and there is that questionable area in front
Yep.
as to whether it's a jurisdictional area subject to flooding. So the
Okay.
intent of the site plan is to calculate the area subject to flooding and show locations of the proposed house, driveway, septic, but it is not, the site plan is certainly not a full design of that.
Right, okay, so the grading will still be what's reflected in the septic plan,
Correct.
okay.
And again, there's nothing, no activity out here near this 100, right?
Very limited grading, just crossing the 100, you can see it on the septic design. So if you will, it's,
Oh, I see.
so it's just this very limited grading. And I mean, it's so far away from the septic, even though it's designed this way, it could potentially be conditioned that grading is kept outside of that. I think the design would still work.
What is the commission's pleasure?
I'm worried a little bit about the runoff, but that's really the only concern, being it so close to the BLSF, or almost BLSF. I get what you're saying, but it is impervious now, especially if it was a gravel pit before. Then it does infiltrate quickly, but it's such poor soils most of the time. Either that or they're so compacted, it'll just run straight there.
So your thoughts are more doing it gutters and
Dry wells.
dry wells?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, put that in a lot of conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Are RDAs conditioned?
Yep.
Okay.
Although, can we condition that if it's technically isolated vegetated wetland?
If we believe it will impact the resource area, yes.
Okay. Peter, I was gonna say, my only comment, actually right here, what we've got up is, I'm fine with the grading in the 100-foot buffer. My only request would be just to have erosion control barrier around that area as well, just to protect that buffer zone. But that doesn't look very steep, so I don't have any issue with that.
That's all I got.
You ready for a motion?
Sure. I'll move to issue a negative determination for 277 Pommogussett with conditions to have erosion controls installed prior to construction, with erosion controls along the, I don't see an arrow, the back lot where the BSW, BBW.
Here, if you look at it this way,
Is-
you can actually.
Oh,
we could-
there's the
We
arrow,
could call that
okay.
the northern.
Okay, so to the
No, that's not northern, that's western, isn't it? Because Pommogussett.
to the west. The arrow's cut off on the site plan. And for Caltex and dry wells to be installed for roof infiltration.
Second it.
Okay. Any other discussion? Roll call. Clark.
Clock eye.
Denza.
Aye.
Chidalucci.
Aye.
Crane, aye. How's that? Nice and simple, right?
Thank you, folks.
So I'll unblock the building permit as soon as we get the paperwork done here. Okay. Next, we have count them, three adjacent lots on Kenwood Drive, so we're going to discuss those. Do we have people here to speak?
Good evening, this is Norman Hill from Land Planning. Can you hear me okay?
Ah, yes, we can, Norman. Good to see you.
Yes, good evening to you all. So let's start with lot 5A. It's designed as a 3-bedroom house. The septic system is located very close to the road. Then the house is just below the septic system. And then we're going to put a sediment barrier below the proposed grading. Now there are wetlands way out back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also, part of this lot is in the DCR protective zone. So we have received approval from the DCR on this lot as designed. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
So, Melissa, can we do all three of these at once? They are adjacent, in fact, between this map and that map, we actually get the entire suite all together. Is there a problem just doing them all at once rather than individuals?
Nope.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. Because I think that the description is going to be fairly well the same, other than 5C doesn't have any Zone A in it.
That's correct. That's correct. And the siltation barrier will run all across the bottom of those 3 lots.
Mm-hmm.
These lots have all been perked and witnessed by the Board of Health.
Okay. Questions or comments from the commission?
Are these near the other ones on Kenwood that we've been discussing? I think so.
There are some other houses under construction further down to the left.
So not very far away then.
Yeah, because looking at the locus, it looks like Tackler's Pond out back.
Yes.
There's just so many Kenwoods that have been both approved by DCR and now reworked, and I'm losing track.
You mentioned that you have approval from DCR on A. Do you have it on B also?
Yes, but we do not have it on C. They've asked us to reduce the size of the house on C to be a 3-bedroom house, so we're in the process of doing that right now. But it'll be the same house in the same location, just slightly smaller, then the septic would get slightly smaller.
Right.
But the siltation controls and the grading would remain the same pretty much.
Anything else from the commission?
So I'm seeing no work at all in the 100-foot buffer. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
But we're still putting in the erosion controls.
We do appreciate
And
that.
we appreciate that, yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Yeah, because it all runs that away, doesn't it?
Yeah.
it does. It does, yeah.
I don't have any other comments.
All right. I'll take a motion.
Do we have a DEP number, or are we just continuing?
It's an RDA.
RDA.
Oh my
These are
God.
RDAs, so.
Forget it.
So no, we don't have DEP numbers, and I don't plan to continue.
We're fine.
Straight
We're
forward.
fine.
Can we do this one?
Sure. Go for it.
I'll make a motion for a negative determination for Kenwood Drive lots 5A, 5B, and 5C.
Second.
Now, there is a question I forgot to ask at the last one, so we have to go back and amend. But what's the reason we're doing? Yes, I'm going to be a pain in the butt and come up with reasons, because the negative determination is like 5 or 6 reasons. Is that right?
It is in a buffer zone, or no, it's not even.
No,
in
it's
a
not
buffer
even in
zone.
the buffer zone.
So it is in an area
Not subject.
Yeah,
not
to the act.
jurisdictional.
Jurisdictional.
I think it's B.
Yeah, it's B.
Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah.
You haven't figured it out yet, Peter?
I never remember.
I stare at
That
these
is the
forms
most-
every
that is the
day, and
most
I'll never
brutal one to
remember which
figure
one
out.
it is.
I'm pretty sure
Which
it's
reason
B.
is this
Yes.
really good to be negative, to be really, that sounds like a bad determination. Okay, so we have a motion.
Second.
Roll call, Ginalucci,
Aye.
Danza,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Crane, aye. Awesome.
Thank you all very much. Everybody stay well. Thank you.
Thank you, you too. Let me just get rid of some of these.
Now I gotta find it.
It's actually negative number 1.
What's negative number 1?
What's the wording on one?
Just 1.
All right, now I'm gonna open, this is not a continuation, right?
Brand new.
Brand new, I'm gonna open a hearing for notice of intent for J&K Ventures at 109 Kenwood Drive, AKA Lot 6A. Julian, I assume you're there. Julian, you're still muted. Julian, are you ignoring us?
I hear the rumbling.
I hear something, no, he's still muted, so
Oh.
that's actually Norman who,
Oh.
in fact, let me.
While we wait for Julian, DEP issued the number today with no comments.
I told you
Yes.
it was still on. Yeah.
Oh, is this the one
I've got
that I
those
talked to the
couple
assessors about
ordinances.
too?
Yes.
That was this one. So, also while we're waiting for Julian. So, Joe brought up at the last meeting that he thought previously the commission had made these lots unbuildable. So, I think what I figured out is that you just did like confirmation of wetland boundaries so that they could get an abatement on the pond area. And that's just what it was.
Okay. We can see it's clearly a one single family home. It's a drive under, nice septic, very close to the street. Oh. Does he need DCR to do this work because he's in the 400? I mean, it's not part of our
Right.
question. I'm just, hey Julian, there you are.
Yep, no, this is, we don't need to go to DCR on this, there's no 200-foot zone.
Okay.
We're outside of everything. We're outside of 200 and 400 foot.
Well, other than the grading, that's the only thing I
The
was
grading,
asking.
yeah, so, and that's only the 400 foot, so it's not prohibited,
Right.
so.
So the only thing, where's the 100? Oh, that's right, the 100 runs through the house.
Yeah,
Okay, so the house and all this grading is in
Yeah.
100.
and we kept everything out of your zone that you're hoping to keep, nothing's in that area,
Right, right.
so.
What's the slope in the back?
That's a 2-to-1. So grass should be able to be, we do that quite often. That should be very easily lawned.
I think that was really the only other thing. They just had wattles proposed. I don't know if anyone.
Oh, okay, we could add the still fence and wattles. You just condition that, that'd be all right.
Yep.
I was gonna make the same comment, Melissa, so I'm with you there.
Is this a walkout?
There's a walkout, yeah,
Walkout. Deck above?
probably,
Oh,
but it would be right in that flat spot,
yeah, right.
so.
Other questions from the commission?
What's the closest point to the wetland?
Oh, I would say probably 40 feet,
Thank you.
because that's
Yeah, you're in that.
Yeah.
maybe a little
It might be a
close.
smidge closer right here at the corner where the well's going.
They have to be, yeah.
Yeah, like 30.
30?
35.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now
we're
we're
almost
getting-
splitting hairs here, so.
Right.
On the count.
Yeah, there was more actually Littlewood. It's right there.
Okay.
I was interested.
That's 15, so 25, probably 30 feet.
Yeah.
Down 22.
Yeah, I see it now.
All right, other questions, comments? Anything from the public? We have the DEP number.
Yeah, we got
Do
we got it this
we-
afternoon.
Do we have any reason not to close this hearing?
I don't think so.
All right, I'll take a motion.
Motion to close public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, Clark,
Aye.
Denza,
Aye.
Gentillucci.
Aye.
Crane, aye. All right, special conditions, we talked about
Just the silt fence.
just the silt fence.
This Saturday?
Do we need to do anything about that well? With the normal, their normal best practices are fine?
It's inside the erosion control barrier,
Yeah.
so I think we're good.
All right, so just the one.
I think so.
Are we ready to approve them?
Motion to approve with the special condition as discussed.
Second.
Roll call, Gentillucci.
Aye.
Denza.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Crane, aye. There we go, nice and easy, Julian.
He has the next one too.
Well, speaking of, so now we have a notice of intent for our, excuse me, I'm gonna open a hearing for the notice of intent for RPM Main Industries, Turkey Hill Road, lot number 4.
It's
So
legal.
Julian's, this one's yours too?
Correct. It's very similar to the one that was lot number 5, that we had just a few weeks ago.
Right.
Single family home, septic system is in the front corner, far away from the pond as I could be. We've got a drive under garage, flat backyard, grades pretty much stay the same as there, so we're not creating anything towards the wetland. That's pretty much what we've got there. I don't know whether I put silt fence and wattles, may need that same condition. I'll make sure I get my detail to work that way.
Great. Melissa, did I cut you off as you were about to say something?
So the only thing I struggled with this site plan is Irish Lane is not where it's labeled, and that's why I was so confused at the last hearing. So Irish is actually Turkey, and the offshoot going up that cuts off is actually Irish.
Well, right in front is Turkey Hill, and then what's,
So the pond does not touch Irish. So I think that whole swoop is Irish.
oh, it's Emerald.
Yeah.
Emerald.
Yeah.
Right at the intersection, it changes.
Because I was like, this doesn't make
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
What alternate dimension?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, I drive this every day. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, okay. It gave me a
Okay.
sanity check, but we're good.
No, that's my computer guys. Sorry.
Somebody gets a
You are
talking to
much
later.
respect. This is from Rutland.
I'm fascinated by the fire pond right next to the hydrant.
Because that's what it's used for.
Well, yeah, that's
That's what a fire pond
It's a-
is.
it's a
So they
dive
suck
tank.
it right out of the
Oh, it
pond.
goes up that way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's one of those plastic where they hook the tanker up to and they suck the water up and fill the
Okay.
tanker.
There's no pressure, Peter.
Right. Maybe not on you.
We mentioned something at the last meeting about the fire pond and possibly having to condition something, I thought.
Maybe just along the 15 foot.
I remember that coming up, the fire pond. I think Jared had asked about it.
I did ask about it, yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry.
I had asked just about the fire pond and
Oh.
its use and all that.
If there was just something specific that they needed approval for.
It has nothing to do with if we had to condition.
Or
it
is there
or
something we should condition about that? That's, but
But
the wetland flag, I mean, we see the wetland line. Is it really as flat as it looks between the wetland line and the edge of the pond?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It comes up along the road, but right there is it's very flat.
Questions or comments from the commission?
We didn't talk about any signage last time, did we? Was that it? I don't think
That's
so.
the only thing I could think of that we've
Yeah.
been doing along the 15 foot,
Right.
putting signage or.
You hear that, Julian?
Well, this one's a little odd because the field
Yeah.
pretty much goes right to the edge there where they mowed. Right, so, I mean, we can put this, you guys condition however you want, we'll abide to it. But this one, the signs are gonna be, if you take a step past the signs, you're gonna be swimming.
Mhm. Yeah, I will agree. It's already kind of a maintained area, so the lawn that we'd be concerned about is already there. Or it's not really lawn right now, but it's grass.
No, but actually, this is probably this year and last year were the first 2 years that he didn't really mow it. He used to mow it
Yeah.
quite often, but condition, if that's fine, we'll put something up, but I think this one's quite obvious that don't go beyond this, if you're gonna go swimming.
Questions or comments from the public? You're
The
also quiet.
closest point to the wetland.
You
is
especially.
1550.
I'm behaving.
We'll see how long that lasts. Do we have a DEP number for this?
Yes, that came today too, no
That's what I thought I
comments.
saw.
Yeah, we got it this afternoon.
Any reason not to close this?
Oh, and the condition about best practices for Japanese knotweed.
Ah, there's another one.
There's no stuff.
Because that's
right
running
here,
crazy over there, isn't it?
but- Yeah, it is.
Okay, then I'll take a motion.
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor? Who are you giving it to, Tamika?
I'm gonna give it to Skip this time.
Take a little pity on it, that's fine.
Oh, that's all right.
I don't need your pity. Clark.
Aye.
Danza.
Aye.
Gentillucci.
Aye.
Crane, aye. So, well, let's see, we talked about 2 or 3, I think only 2 specials.
Two.
Silt fence
Silt
and
fence.
best practices.
And best practices for the knotweed, okay?
Motion to issue the order of conditions with the special conditions as discussed.
Second.
Gentillucci.
Aye.
Danza.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Crane, aye. Awesome, there you go. How you doing there?
Julian, I'll get those emailed to you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right.
So we have, I think we've gone through all the hearings and everything. That's awesome. I am gonna take these out of order, because I have a surprise for number 1 anyway. So let's talk about number 2.
You quit?
Don't joke.
Yeah, don't say that.
No, not until
He's
actually.
voted all night, so he must be on to something.
It's true.
It's not funny.
She said don't be quiet.
It's my own fault, I know. Okay, so actually, the letters of interest is not entirely complete. No, because there's also the letter of interest for Joe to be reappointed. And I want to have a discussion about all of them today. Because the select board at this last meeting, I said we have not discussed any of them as a commission. And so I did not write any letter of recommendation in any event. And the select board agreed and they would hold off until the next meeting on this. And their next meeting is next Monday. So let's have a discussion about Joe, Scott, and Mitch. I assume everyone here has read Scott's and Mitch's letter of interest, and Mitch has a very impressive, that's almost a CV, man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that. Highly embellished.
You give me a resume?
Yeah, I figured why not.
For those who don't know, Scott is a longtime member. How many years were you on of the commission?
Dave met me before.
What's that?
Dave met me before.
Yeah. Well, but they've seen you.
We've seen you.
Yes, you've heard me. Right, Skip? Skip, you want to add?
Through the chair. if I
Skip's
can-
going to stay quiet. Yes,
if I
Mr.
can
Rizzi.
clarify, there are, if we're including Joe's re-up,
Mhm.
there are 3 seats, that is my understanding.
That is correct. There are 3 seats and there are 3 letters of interest.
Okay.
So this would completely fill the commission up again, which would be a really nice place
Scary.
to be.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
So, does anyone have any questions for our applicants? Let's start with that. Questions or comments?
Why do you want to do it?
I actually have time again. I ran out
That's
of time
good.
before with kids and stuff. It just
Yeah.
got to be too much.
That's good. That's good. Will you
It's
show
one
up
of
to
those- and
meetings?
if you-
Yeah.
I always show up. You can, I mean, yeah. Showing up is not a problem.
He's a regular.
Yeah,
And
and
hey,
we went through the same thing when I first got on. There was nobody. Like, we had more meetings that you never had. They went 3 months without a meeting at one point because it couldn't do a quorum. It was, that was before Zoom.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
so I have time now.
Same question, Mitch.
I have a master's in public administration. I'm kind of a policy wonk. This board is pretty policy heavy, which I enjoy. I'm also on CIPC, which is the same thing. Having just stepped down as chair, or having the chair switch in Board of Selectmen, it frees up a little bit more time. And this is a board that's been historically very hard to fill to its full capacity, and I kind of hate to see that. So when there was still an open seat, you know, I've worked with Peter for a long time now, so I said I'd be interested if there was no one else that was interested in filling it.
And for the record, there have been no other letters of interest.
That's sad.
It is sad, but
You're just lifers. Just get used to it.
I work in this. I'm volunteering in this. I'm having a bad day. I got evacuated from work today.
Oh, jeez.
oh, that's special.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, no.
I wish I got evacuated from work today,
Yeah.
because I work from home with a toddler, so.
Yeah, I got to go home with the dogs, so that was fine.
So I know he's not here, but I'm gonna ask what people's opinion are about Joe continuing on the commission. If I'm gonna write a letter of recommendation, I've gotta do it with assent of the board. I won't just go off. I know how long Joe's been serving.
I think he's improving, so I think we should give him another term.
Okay.
Do we have a sense how often he'll be able to make it to meetings?
I consider it a good sign he's made it to the previous two.
Yeah,
But
me
no,
too.
I have not had that explicit talk with him.
But he still wants to be on.
Yes.
He doesn't Zoom. Well, he's not, that's not totally out of his realm.
He
To listen into and talk, I mean, he's not gonna go face to face on it,
Yeah.
but,
Well, he tried once,
okay.
and I think he was with Skip that day, right? And that's where they couldn't get the computer working.
Imagine that.
So I had my phone held up so they could hear what was going on in the meeting.
Yep.
No, I'm actually surprised he doesn't have easier access to Zoom, but he may not have Wi-Fi right there or good enough internet access, I don't know.
He's down in that hole, he's got nothing.
We've had that issue with a bunch of board members, and obviously that's come up in some meetings, but I've, you know, had to make arrangements, it's been tough.
It certainly can sometimes. I'm not gonna get on my, we should always offer Zoom at all the meetings rant. This board commission will continue to offer Zoom at every meeting. Okay. So I have a suggestion that he's getting better and should be given a shot. I don't have a problem with that. Any other opinions or questions or comments?
I agree.
I agree.
No.
Okay. Then let's, why don't we do it as a slight like a motion to write a letter of recommendation for our three applicants.
So moved.
Second.
Awesome. Which way do they go last? Clark.
Clock eye.
Dan's eye.
Gentilucci, aye.
Crane, aye. Awesome.
What are the terms on two opens? Are they full 2-year terms or 3-year terms?
3.
Or is one taking bills?
One, yeah, so Joe
That just
will
doesn't
be,
matter, just-
Joe will be for 3 because he's a re-up.
Right.
Eric's would be for 3.
What's that?
Eric's would be for 3.
Eric would be for
And I
3.
don't know how long Bill had left.
Bill, I
Maybe
think,
he-
has
yeah.
2 because I think
Two,
he and I
okay.
did it, no, it was not me and Bill
No,
last.
it was
On
no.
the reappointment sheet, if I can, Peter,
Please.
and this is before I put something in,
You're
but
looking on the
to
website.
answer
Okay.
Scott's question, I think
They
They-
took him off?
when Beth tallied the reappointments, She counted Scott as
It says
Bill's seat.
2023.
But
Okay.
I have no preference, so if that's something that Scott wants to switch
Jeez.
around.
Yeah, I mean, because you guys have to decide that too, who gets which seat. It doesn't matter.
Anybody got a coin we can flip?
Yeah, I mean, it makes no difference.
Rock, paper, scissors?
Fight for it.
Fight for it?
Fight for it.
No,
Well said.
we're good.
You win.
So we will,
Because they're gonna ask you that, that's what he's gonna tell you.
yeah.
They gotta say
are.
who's taking what seat,
If
so.
they don't, Anita will just assign it randomly.
Oh, she'll torture him first.
Well, there's been time, I mean, I know that we just do things to make that easier from the
Right.
staggered perspective, so.
Right. I'll tell you what, no, we're going to sign Scott up for the 3 because he's done enough tours that he knows the whole deal. Mitch, I think you doing it for a year makes sense, and you can get it in a year and decide if you want to stay on. I think that's going to be the.
1 year or 2?
Whatever he had left.
Two.
I think it was one. He did two.
We think it's one. It's only one. I haven't looked. So
I think it's 2.
I think it's
I think it's
two.
1.
It's two.
You think it's 2?
Yeah.
So,
okay, then it's 2 years.
It's indifferent, but it's not indifferent.
Okay.
Sorry.
Now let's go back to number 1, reorganization of the board, which we will not do tonight. I think the plan is to do it next week because we'll have our new members by then, assuming the select board takes action at the next meeting. And I'm hoping, since we have 2 select board members, that we can make that happen.
Be careful, you know.
I know neither of you is chair now, so,
He's clerk though.
Oh, that's right. But there is a discussion I wanted to have with the commission about the chairmanship. So as long as, I think I'm the longest running member right now, right?
Mhm.
As long as I've been on the commission, there have been 2 chairs, Joe and then me. And then Joe, who is the actual longest serving member, I believe there's only been 1 other chair in his tenure.
No.
Now, you don't think so?
Stephanie had it.
Stephanie Bacon.
Stephanie was
But
in
didn't
that
Steph
too.
didn't it go from, oh no, Karen.
There was stuff in, there were a lot of people,
Okay.
and Karen London was part of it too.
Right, so, but that covers,
They're long-term.
they have been long-term. So I wanted the commission's opinion on how we would like collectively to proceed with chairmanship. I'm not saying, don't make me chair again, oh God. I'm saying,
So,
if we should be sharing, we have enough people on this commission who are good enough at running meetings, which has not always been the case. So I have faith in members of the commission being able to do this. So I want to at least have a discussion about how we want to deal with, I don't want to call it rotating, that's too formal. And I know I just cut you off, Skip, but I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
it all depends on who's got the time, because we all work. I mean, even I do, even at my age.
You do work.
Oh, yeah.
I thought you were retired by now. Oh, I'm sorry, you're not Dick, who just.
Talking about it's even killing him, so.
So that would be the only question I would have.
True.
Well, we could still have the option of still having the same person be
That
reposed,
is,
right?
yes, I believe that is absolutely an option to
If
us.
they wanna do it.
But I want to make clear that I'm not trying to hold
No, you're not
a
beating us with this
chairmanship
stick.
position
Yes.
here. I'm not trying to be the longest running chair.
I don't think that's ever been held. It's more of it's,
No one else wants to do it?
no one else wants to do it to a point.
Yeah.
Whoever's doing it does a good job most of the time, and guess what? You still get outvoted. I mean, again, you're only running a meeting. You're not controlling the
Right.
sway of it, so.
Okay.
I don't think it's an issue to say, hey, 2 on, 2 off, I don't think that, with that spot.
Yeah, I'm also not saying again that we need to have a specific rotation or anything like that. So, all right, then.
So we do a chair and a co-chair, and if you're not available, or whoever, you know.
Yeah.
But that fills in anyways, most of the time.
Right.
We filled in with that before. You know, when Joe couldn't be around, we just filled it in. Not a big deal, somebody else runs the meeting.
Alrighty. So we will put off organization until next week, so we get as a full board as we can get, and everybody gets their say about chair and vice chair. Anything else about organization? Moving on to filling the Open Space and Recreation Committee slot. I'd like, so Planning Board did in fact nominate Kevin Jarvie for that seat.
I also think we never appointed Dick.
We have never appointed Dick because we've never gotten a nomination for him,
Okay.
from anybody.
Not from the ag?
Not from, we have, nope, nobody's talking to us, we're so lonely out here.
I just had that, oh my god, I don't think we ever did him either.
No, we haven't, and
Okay.
again, I have no, we know Dick, Dick knows us, he's been on this commission for much too long, so, but we only have in front of us Kevin's
Okay.
nomination, so let's at least vote for that. And Tamika, if I can get you please to write a letter to AgCom and address it to both the chair and the vice chair to consider appointing a member. And Dick, you've been going to the meetings, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great, okay.
Dick, are you comfortable with me saying in the letter that you are interested in filling
I've been to a
I
couple of
hope
meetings.
so. Alright.
And I've already been
Say
saying
yes.
No,
Okay.
I've seen his notes from the meetings.
Yes. I have them in my bag.
All right, so we need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I keep forgetting which way I went last, so I'll do
But
Gentle
can I
Luigi.
just, for
Yeah.
discussion maybe?
Sure.
Was anybody else offered that position from the planning board? Do you know?
Sean
The entire
was on.
board was presented the option. Kevin and Dick have at various times represented interest in it from planning. This time, the planning board finally voted on Kevin.
Because originally it was Sean, right?
Right.
Yes, I think it was,
Yeah.
yes, that's right. So Dick, I guess planning really doesn't want you on that.
I was gonna be on it, and then Kate said that, yeah, please,
Okay.
so that's why I did. So Kevin got roped in.
Right. Other questions? Discussion, comments, wisecracks?
I'm done.
All right, let's vote. Gendelucci,
Aye.
Denza,
Aye.
Clark.
All right, aye.
With reservations, perhaps?
With reservations, yes, very severe reservations.
And Crane, aye.
Melissa, do you have Kevin's email address?
I don't think so.
I can send it to you.
Thanks.
All right, so since we're taking things out of order, I'm going to let members of the public who are here, since we have members of the public here, is there something we can help you with?
Yeah, we're actually number 4. It says 12 Fernwood Drive.
Oh, the people you said we were gonna get to next, awesome.
Let's not take it out of order. We're right there. We appreciate you listening to us on such short notice as well.
Absolutely, in fact, what I had meant to do, let me take a few moments here to pull up. So, come on.
Good. I have it in the building permit as well, if it's done, so hopefully for
First
all
we'll do
that,
this
you know,
one.
you did all right.
Going from this chair out and down.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Are we on like camera?
Yes.
Awesome. I hate this chair. Okay.
Right, so, in fact, let me also put up this.
Oh, there it is, okay.
Okay,
There she
so, 12 Fernwood Drive, the edge of the house is, by my fast measurement from this wetland edge, at 100 feet, which means that the addition they're proposing, which I'll let you discuss in just a second, coming off the back is going to be all within the 100.
Correct.
There are a couple ways to go, and it depends upon what the nature of the construction is going to be, and that's gonna determine what sort of filing we need to be done, okay? So, I've done my intro. Please, introduce yourselves, name and address, and tell us about the project.
I'm Greg Sarkeesian, Sarkeesian Builders. I live on 27 Wachusett Street here in Rutland, and our firm is out of 132 Winter Hill Road in Holden. And I'm representing the Jocelyn's today, who want to put on a 22 by 22 single room, great room, as I like to call it, off the back of their home. And this was our last step, of course, with our building permit, and we all were excited until they said, "Hold on, you're within 100 feet." And we said, "Okay, let's take a look at this." So I've dealt with it before, but not. It's always different in each town, and you don't do it very often. And because of a timeline and things to get things done, we were very pleased that you allowed us at this meeting to direct us perhaps better what you need, what you're looking for, and things of that nature.
Okay, so 22. Imagine for a moment, without doing a formal measurement, that the house is at the 100, so that puts the edge of the addition at, I'm going to call it 78 feet. So tell me about how, is there a foundation? Is it on, I hate to call it stilts, but you know.
Yeah, footings for lack of a better term. So no, this is actually going to be it's not a very big foundation, it's a crawl space foundation because of the walkout nature of the back of the yard. So it's only going to be out of the ground about 1 foot. So it's only going to be about a 4 foot dig for the frost line.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think what else. It's I'm not bringing in a very big machine. It's just a small excavator to bring in for the dig. Brian, can you add anything you're thinking of?
Well, I think for that perspective, it is just a small knee wall going out. And I'm Brian Jocelyn. I live in Rutland. Small
I'd
knee
say
wall.
12 Fernwood.
12 Fernwood.
I guess.
Our little house. It was our starter home, and we have never left. So, our proposed idea is just a 22 by 22 great room, as Greg mentioned, with a small foundation underneath it, with the 1 story supporting it, and really a 1 single room. Nothing crazy. On the back of the deck, back of the house right now exists a deck, a 12 by 16 deck that was with the house when we bought it and built it. So that deck will come down and the room will sit in replacement of that.
Just to give the council as well some perspective, if you see where the neighbors are with their pools, we won't even be out that far in terms of our foundation. We'll be nowhere near out there. We're only coming out 22. That deck is 12 feet off the house already. We're only coming another 10 feet, just to kind of give you some kind of perspective of the area that the dig will be in, and you know, of course, how far we're going to be from that determined area.
Is that replacing the deck?
Yes.
Okay.
So you don't
Yep, the deck is coming off first, so we automatically pick up that 12 feet, of course,
Right.
Before we come out the 22.
Do you plan on putting a new deck anywhere around?
It's going actually on
On
the
the
side.
On the side.
With
Not
the,
the back.
yeah, so it's
Not
along
the-
the side, yep. There.
Right here?
Yep.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay.
And we have the plans.
Yeah,
if you
that
want
connects
say
to the, there's an existing deck there where a catwalk will kind of just connect back to the house for an egress for safety as well.
Mhm, mhm.
You have a site plan with it?
Yeah.
Do you mind us taking
No,
it?
absolutely not.
And just to, we had no idea there were wetlands behind us.
Welcome to the show.
That's right.
We live in Rutland, guess what?
We were like, oh,
Grass
really?
all the way back, which is nice. And again, it's a very flat lot, which was nice. It wasn't a lot of like runoff, so to speak, coming off because we're dropping so steady. Not that's helpful at all. We were plenty enough from our lines, which was happy. Like I said, in terms of all everything, but it was a small house, and now I know why it's the size it is because Clea had to keep it exactly from things, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't put it back anymore. You're not getting a 40 foot. You're going 36. You're going 24, and we're keeping it. You know, now I understand. Of course,
So the deck
when they
will
laid
be
it out.
over here now.
Yeah, the deck is actually right back here
Yeah.
in this little section
So
here.
the new
No,
one
but it's
will
going to
be
be-
on the
Yes,
side.
yep, but my addition comes to here. This is about, I want to say 4 feet from here to the corner.
Okay.
And then I'm going to tie into the existing, which is a little catwalk here for that side door. Yeah. Of course, we put up silt fence, of course, and our hay bales and everything, just to protect anything.
No hay bales.
Yeah, no hay. No hay.
Just the
Straw.
silt fence.
Straw.
Oh, the
Straw.
straw, of course. Good one. All right. You've been waiting all night to say that. I walked
We
right
beat
into
it
that
into
one,
it.
Sprout. You know, I walked into it. Damn it.
And this is all lawn now, so nothing comes
It is
coming
actually
down.
it's lawn all the way back. Like I said, so there's no clearing of trees or anything other than, like I said, an excavator. And I don't have to bring in a big excavator for this. It's only a 4-foot dig. Like I said, 10-inch walls, so I have to go 3 foot bigger, like of course for safety to get my forms in and out. And that's really about it. Very easy backfill. And like I said, very, very gentle sloping all the way to this area, which we won't even be back here for our final grading. Usually I'm within 15 feet out from the house, and then we kind of feather it back in. The Jocelyn's a good at landscaping, so he'll be doing his own, I think, loam, of course, and then seeding at the very end.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that should keep all the work more than 50 feet,
Yeah.
right? We'll be in the
Right,
outer 50,
right.
50 to 100.
Yeah, I mean, I'm to the
Okay.
lot line, I was roughly 52 feet. And we didn't even get to, like I said, slow wetlands didn't look like it was on their property, but we're still
Right.
within
Yeah.
100.
Yeah,
So,
it
so
is.
from my perspective, when I looked at the building permit, I said, there is a foundation, there is earth disturbance. I'm not sure I could call this purely an accessory structure based on what I could see from the building
Right,
permit,
but I
that's all.
agree, because it's not just a freestanding garage, right?
Right.
But it is done in that format, in regard to it's backfilled on both sides, we're only a foot out of the ground, 18 inches in terms of its height. So it is very similar, the dig, as actually a 24 by 24 garage, which is typical, just on a smaller level, or 22 by 22, of course.
And you said it'll be spread footings for the foundation?
What kind of footings? I'm
Spread,
sorry?
spread foot, so you'll go down 4 feet?
Yes,
For the
we have to go
foundation,
past the
okay.
frost line.
Okay,
Yep, and we'll
yeah.
have a 10-inch by 20-inch footing, with
Okay.
10-inch keyed poured walls on top of that.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and conventional stick built from there, you know, just to match our level, our floor heights and so forth.
Not at all related to the discussion, but you have 2 sewer easements?
I know, how do they work that, right? I know that too, I'm like, we should be fine from that lot line, they get easements, so, but we're not encroaching luckily
Right.
upon those as well, so. Like I said, that was our last holdup, was conservation. Didn't think it was anything too bad for them to work. I didn't wanna make them nervous, cause now when people get these things, they get nervous, right? Are
Yep.
we gonna be able to build? But like I said, certainly something I wanted to bring in front of the committee and make sure they were comfortable before we proceeded with our final step of getting our permit. So you mentioned a notice of intent. They filled out, we filled out what we could, because it's kind of complicated for us lay people. I did download the form
Well,
online. I don't
you'd
know.
prefer not to do a notice of intent, is
I
what
would.
say.
That would be my suggestion to the committee if I could. To not do a notice of intent based on our discussion tonight, but of course, we're at the inclination of the direction with the committee.
Right, and that's exactly what we're here to talk about. So you've actually now seen a notice of intent hearing, and you've seen us see how we deal with RDAs, a request for determination of applicability. Yeah, say that 10 times fast. So the process is much less burdensome for an RDA, but I didn't want to step on the commission's authority here because it wasn't a clear cut, obviously could be an RDA.
Yeah.
So what is the commission's pleasure?
Certainly sit down. Do you need this?
No, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would agree with an RDA.
I would too.
Great.
Yeah, and I think in my mind, the only condition, which you already mentioned, would be the erosion control barrier, and that would be it. I mean, you're gonna be beyond at least 50 feet from the edge of the wetlands, if not a little more, at the closest point. Most of the work is outside of that, so I think an RDA is appropriate.
Yeah, for the RDA, it's a lot simpler of a form. It's really just your information and explanation of work, and that plan you already have will be sufficient. You'd be able to get it in the paper for next week in plenty of time.
We can do it for the next meeting on the 20th. So the only thing I need from you is the completed RDA, which you can get that right off the DEP's website.
Okay.
You don't have to submit anything to DEP, it's only to us.
Okay.
And I just need a $35 check made payable to the Telegram and Gazette, because we have to post it in the paper.
Of course.
So you can just mail it or drop it off at Town Hall.
All right.
I brought my checkbook, can I write it on?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you get a copy of this.
Gee, that'd be a pity to have it in our hands.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
already in the, I did upload it, okay.
Yes, yep, so it's just that form, and then basically they'll just kind of do the same thing next time, and then issue your RDA, and
All right, so we'll get on the docket for next week's meeting, you'll
Yeah,
discuss
we'll
it.
consider this the submission.
Yes.
Two weeks, yeah.
Yep, because it's enough time for
All
me to
right.
publish it, so yeah, July 20th, and then
All right,
hopefully we
so you
can.
guys got that?
finish it.
Even though
He's
it's
like,
only
bring the
filled out?
checkbook.
All right, we'll do that tonight then, thank you for.
Thank you so very
for
much.
the advice, we
You're
appreciate
very
it.
welcome.
Thank you.
I'm glad this all worked out to everybody's advantage here.
Yes,
Mhm.
we do too.
Yeah.
And it's not next week, it's 2 weeks.
Yep, yep, the 20th, yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
Thank you so very much.
So the
Very
RDI
welcome.
notice
Thank
is
you for
online.
coming.
I downloaded the big form, you'll
Right.
see where it says RDI, and it's a much simpler form.
Okay.
And they have all the paperwork.
And then
You don't have to
we-
write a check to the DEP or to us.
And we send that to you, the,
Yeah, so if you
Don't have
just
to do
email
other
me,
notifications
you
either.
can email the same email address that you sent it to earlier.
okay,
Just send me that form completed, and that's all you have to do.
all right. And then, do
Easy
you want,
enough.
I can write a check now?
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
send it
If
to the
that's-
Telegram?
To the Telegram and Gazette, yep, for 35.
Yep, I'm gonna do that thing.
Now, if you guys are away or anything, that's fine, let me know,
We're
I can
not
come to the
actually.
meeting.
Okay.
But like I said, it should be pretty straightforward at this point,
Awesome.
in terms of questions, now that I see their response, I think that makes me good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys made it tonight, because I know when
Very
I
much
saw
so.
your email,
Yeah.
you were
I
very
just saw-
overwhelmed,
okay.
and I'm like, I think you should just
You
come.
should see
So-
me like Googling the
Oh, no.
latitude
You're on
along,
the-
I'm like, oh no! Crying at the table.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
We read a lot about the
In
state
that,
law.
in that
Yeah.
section of Fernwood, it was newer than Blueberry Lane, so I was
Mhm.
glad that Mr. Calick gave elevations and things
Yeah.
on his plan, because a lot of them, as we kind of saw early from the things in the 80s and before, they were a little bit harder in terms of our filing system and so forth, so all that worked out for us, I think we'll take it.
Great.
All right, folks, I appreciate your time.
Yes,
Like
we
I
do
said,
too.
that was really
Okay,
fun.
thank you.
If you have any questions, let me know.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so
All
much.
right, thank you. So, let's,
Thank you so much.
this is on to 232 Barry Paxton Road.
Thank you, pleasure.
There's Glenwood.
So Scott, one of the things that's changed
Hmm.
is now there's this whole viewpoint electronic permitting system. So we know about every building permit in town.
That's good.
And,
I mean, Tamika knows.
no, actually, she doesn't get the emails.
Really?
No,
Well, I get them when Peter forwards them to me from the Earthworks email.
they all go to the earthworks board because they only know about one identity and, never mind. Restrictions, but because of this, I get to see all of them and
Oh, it's nice to know.
it's
It's
good.
better, it's better than my neighbors doing this, you're going, doing what?
So, there's nobody here. The Luciers aren't here, who I kind of expected. I haven't checked to see if they were, no, I haven't seen a response from them. I suggested they show up. Just a minute, let me take a moment to pull up. Assuming I can figure this. Maybe it's this one. Okay. Well, that was a good guess. Here. Wait a minute, what did that say? No, there is no. Application. Oh, yeah, that's right. This is rotate counter. Then we'll do the zooming. All right, so this is the self-storage facility in, on Barre Paxton Road, just up in Four Corners. Something in here said it's, somewhere told me that they're trying to build phase 4, which as near as I can tell is this building right here. Their plan has a neat little wetland right here.
And it goes across the street.
Yes. And this one, wrong. This one, here we see 2 buildings, and this building is only half in this property, so they may have changed property lines somewhere along the way. But this wetland clear is what they had delineated whenever this was done, and that was a while ago now. So I believe they are talking about, I don't know where the other building is that's not really on the plan, but it is my belief that they're building this. It is unclear to me how much of this impervious surface is in place already, how much of the driveway is there. It looks like it's not impervious, it still looks like dirt, but I don't know how old the photo really is. So.
Looks like a big retention pond, if I remember last time I drove by it.
It's 2019, Peter.
Yeah.
What's that?
2019.
What's 2019?
The photo.
The aerial.
Oh, well, it's what they say.
Yeah, so
It's the
before
2019 collection of maps.
That's right, correct.
In any event, since they're not here, I'm not gonna go any further than this. Tamika said, and my own investigation suggested they do not have an NOI, which is why I was really interested in if they've done any of this other work, or any of this other driveway work, but it doesn't look like they have. So, the good news to me, because this is the 100, this line, that as near as I can tell, they haven't done anything very naughty. I don't know what the heck is going on where this detention pond is not located here. I agree with Scott, it sure looks like it's over here.
It looks backwards. There's something wrong with that.
Yeah.
I mean, because you drive by and you look, oh, hey, hasn't changed, and you go, wait a second, that pond doesn't look like what it does on here.
Yeah, so we will definitely need some.
There might have been something in 2013, but it doesn't have an address. But it's from them.
It's from Lucier?
Yeah.
That might have been the first one.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's
2013. It just says Barre Paxton Road. It doesn't even list like
Yeah, that's the first one farther up.
Yeah.
an address.
Yeah, that's this building, which might actually be not on this property, but on this property. I don't know.
No, 13 would have
Yeah.
been across the intersection.
They also have
Up
like
the other way.
Oh.
That's 13.
they also have something in 2015 for Lot 2, Barre Paxton.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I checked the registry of deeds and there wasn't anything.
Yeah, I doubt it.
No.
I'm just checking like the log that I had pulled from DEP.
That's probably one to go look at.
Dick.
I do know that they talked about making the building closer to the road smaller, and there was some other change that they were making. It was a planning
wall.
board.
Yeah, retaining wall.
The retaining wall.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they made a minor plan modification.
Pete, what date is this plan from?
Oh, that's a good question.
Long
Let me zoom way.
11, 14, 17.
That's impressive. I'm blind.
I'm good at reading fuzzy things. Better without my glasses on even.
Oh, 17.
17, 11, 14, 17.
Okay.
But they amended their, I'm assuming, major site plan recently.
Yeah, like within
When
the
did
past
that come
month.
through, Dick?
Yes,
That was
about
recent.
a month ago,
Yeah.
Okay.
roughly.
So I think we need an updated plan.
Yeah, so again, I wasn't expecting
Yeah,
us
yeah.
to take any action. I was hoping they'd be here to tell us more than I already, what little I know. And thank you, Dick, for at least feeding us something. This is gonna turn out to be nothing more than we should be seeing something from them.
Yep.
Because their building permit ain't moving forward right now.
And that's how this first popped up, was through Viewpoint?
Yes.
Got it.
And even that, probably to go take a peek at it. With the amended plan, look at it, go, what?
Yeah,
Tamika, do you think
did I
you
just
could
close-
send us the most revised plan that they sent to the planning board? Or was it just kind of a verbal, I wanna change this, do you remember?
Oh, engineer's revised site
Oh,
plan.
it was a special permit.
Six.
It's on the special permit. No, he has to Dave George. Let's see what he has.
Could be something.
Well, that's certainly newer.
Wow.
Yeah.
And easier to
Still the
read.
same though.
Yeah, it's fundamentally the same plan.
Yeah.
But it's in electronic form, so that by itself is better.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not that much
There's
more readable though.
Two buildings now.
There was two
No, that's,
buildings
so,
before.
so
Well,
there
two
are,
before I couldn't
Yeah.
even.
This
I
is-
know.
There's a lot,
No, no,
there's
I
a lot
mean-
line between them.
I mean, two buildings close to the road.
Yeah, there was before.
Were there two?
that
on
was
that?
in the other one also.
It just, but it
Was
was
it?
a little bit
Okay.
bigger though.
Actually, I'm not sure exactly, but, okay, fuzzy reader, what does this say down here? Storage building. Storage building, okay, so they're actually, I don't know if they're planning to build one or both, because they are both even on the old plan.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, they were just hard to differentiate.
Oh, gravel driveway, that's readable. A little bit of asphalt, but not a lot. And that berm comes right up to that 100-foot and doesn't cross it. So, I'm in the same position that I think I was before I opened this one, which is, we're just gonna wait and see.
Mm.
Let's see if there are any other documents we might be interested in.
Cause commercial also has to meet stormwater standards.
It's true, they're not exempt.
Yep.
Good point.
Site plan with, final driveway layouts. Why so many versions?
I'm not sure this is substantially different from the last one.
It's the same with me. We'll have to swap out their hay bales.
Is there anything? 242 Paxton Perry. Oh, okay, that's all their approvals.
Perfect.
Awkward.
Okay, but, okay, oh, from 2018, this is the original special permit. There we go, okay. What do they need a special permit for? Is a storage facility a special permit?
I guess so.
Okay. I promise I will never learn everything about zoning. All right.
Thank you for that promise. You must learn with the rest.
I need to talk to Dave to get the complete bylaw changes for zoning that were done at this last town meeting, including norms on the floor amendment. Thanks, floor. Thanks,
Yeah,
Norm.
thanks, Norm.
All right. So, I don't have anything more to say about this. So, yeah, so next Tuesday, there will be a meeting of the planning board where they will be discussing, among other things, Brintnal Estates, which has big-ass wetlands crossing.
Is that a technical term?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, pretty much. That is, by the way, as I understand it, being modified with DCR, I mean, working through DCR and DEP, and working through all the state agencies, there might be some amendments to that plan.
Oh, because the roadway is superseding, so we
Yeah.
even need to get involved.
Yep.
Got it.
But there are some elements of this that the planning board have asked that conservation have a presence at that meeting. This is not a hearing, this is just a discussion. There will also be,
It is a hearing, Peter. It's a
on
continued.
Brintnal Estates,
Yeah, it's a oh no, the continued hearing is technically the special permits for 7 lots.
for the
but-
seven estate lots,
Right,
yes.
and they're lumping this into
Yes,
that.
now, because, yeah, that's true. So, there's Brintnal Estates that we all here have, well, it's been a while, but we've been through we create an order of conditions, it's all fine. Across the street from Norm Anderson, who's the chair of planning board, Clea is gonna create 7 lots on the other side of Brintnal Drive, which, by the way, have quite a bit of wetlands, some amount of wetlands, including, by the way, he's planning to put driveways through the wetlands.
Solid.
And not particularly jurisdictional to this board, but his plan, in order to do all the fill at Brintnal Estates, is to take it all from these 7 lots as part of the grading.
Say that one more time.
So he's gonna take a ton of fill from the 7
Okay.
lots and bring it
Bring it.
over and fill in parts of Brintnal Estates with it.
Okay.
And that's an earthworks board jurisdictional issue, but since I'm chair of that too, what the hell, I'll share the joy. So, I will be there because I don't have to worry about flipping FinCom on Tuesday night, so I don't have to worry about it from a TV point of view. So I will certainly be here. Anybody else interested in taking part in this?
What time?
They start at
6:30.
6:30.
Okay.
I don't believe it's scheduled to open until 7, the actual hearing, where they're
Okay.
kind of putting this in there.
Yeah, but the Brintnal Estates piece, it all depends on whether they do it truly as a unit. So
Yeah.
the meeting starts at 6:30, the hearing for the 7 lots is at 7.
Correct, yeah.
Do they meet?
It
They
is,
do Zoom too. No, they meet in this room actually now.
they meet in this room,
Yeah.
but they will also have Zoom.
Mhm.
I should be able to join them.
Okay.
One way or another.
Um,
I also.
I'm just wondering if there's enough interest that we should post this as a Concom meeting as well, if we're all gonna be there. Because the one thing I can be sure of is we're gonna talk.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably doesn't hurt to post it just
And
in
what,
case.
it can't hurt, just post it.
I'll just post
And
it.
whoever shows up,
Yep.
great, we don't have a problem.
I also weirdly got looped in from the Army Corps on this.
Oh.
I think I would forward it to Tamika that basically all the outstanding issues the Army Corps still had, they still have, and they were not thrilled that they hadn't received any information because the developer was stating that the Army Corps was holding it up. And so, I forget what his name is, but basically outlined every communication he's had asking for information since 2019.
Okay,
So they're working on that.
so is that Brintnal Estates? That can't be the 7 lots, that hasn't been done in.
No.
So that's, okay.
Oh, that's Bryce Lemon. Forget it. Just
Oh.
Phase 4.
forget it. It's not been a good
Too
day.
many
Peter.
peas.
Too many peas. Been to too many
There's
places.
Bryce Lemon, Brintnal.
Yeah, they all merge in my head at some
Uh-huh.
point. Yes, that's, I lied to you. That's Bryce Lemon.
Yeah, well, we were there when the Army Corps guy made it very
So that's
clear
that
how
guy.
displeased he was
He still is.
about, well, I bet he is, but the original plans that Clee submitted for Bryce Lemon,
Mm.
there was no clear cutting. Individual house lots were cleared as necessary with lots of trees in between. And that didn't last, and he didn't know until he showed up for a site walk that the land had been cleared.
So he's basically still asking for the updated plans. He still never got them.
Huh, okay.
Whoa,
So he was
thank
not
you for that.
welcome.
Hey, look, I'm happy to have the ones.
I can
that we have.
send it to you if
Oh,
you'd like
that's what I
to.
wanted to ask you, where are the, because I gave you the plans to put in the Google Drive for Bryce Lemon. And
They
I
should
didn't,
have their own folder.
I didn't see it at the top level. So I'm wondering if it got sunk into a lower level
It
somewhere.
might have, yeah. Because
So-
I normally would have created its own folder, but I wonder if, like you said, maybe it got stuck in with another meeting.
So if you wouldn't
Folder.
mind just making sure it goes to the top.
Yeah, I'll go
Thank
back
you.
and look for that.
Or maybe I'm blind and I just can't see what's right in front of me.
Anything's possible.
Oh, that's frequent. All right, so whoever shows up, great. We'll enjoy seeing you all there, and we'll have
Just gonna put it on my phone.
a hell of a discussion in what is likely to be yet another 4-hour planning board
Who
meeting.
has to design that?
Who was what?
Who did the engineering on that? Julie?
Julian.
Yeah, Julian did Bryce.
Okay.
Did
He's
Julian
doing Brintnal
do,
too.
he did Brintnal also?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bryce
Yeah,
I've seen.
Because he was at the last meeting too.
Yeah, I was pretty sure,
I wanna see that one.
okay.
I'll bug him.
Peter, there is a folder in the Google Drive for Bryce Lemon Estates.
At top level?
Yes,
For Bryce or which one are we talking
Bryce.
about?
Bryce, I was
But
asking
we
about
want
Bryce.
Brintnal.
We also want Brintnal.
Okay.
I don't have Brintnal though, correct? You were
I
talking
don't
about the
have
folder
it,
for
so
Bryce.
I did
No.
All right, I'm gonna cross that off my list. Peter did not see it.
Yes.
So it's definitely there.
Peter's just blind. Make sure that gets in the minutes. All right, moving on. God, it's 7:30. So, somebody is going to sell some 61A land. I don't understand why we're being noticed about that, because it's gonna stay in 61. It is merely a transfer of ownership, it's not a transfer of use, and therefore staying in 61A, the town has no right to purchase, the town doesn't get to say anything about it, but somebody was bound and determined that we got noticed, so by golly, we got noticed.
Yeah, the select board just wanted to make sure it went through all the proper channels regardless of how, because it was 61A. So they asked that it go to the various boards.
Okay.
Well,
Welcome to town.
So it is being sold
Yes.
Yes.
from the current owner to the new owner,
Yes.
Yep.
but it's not, the use is not changing.
Correct.
That was easy.
I think it's just like to a neighbor too. I think the guy
Yeah, I think
buying
you're
it's on Demon Pond.
Yes, yes. 35 Demon Pond.
All right, let's move on to 175 Barre Paxton Road. What's the history in this? Did I even have, I don't,
This was just the complaint.
Yeah,
right?
that was the email we received that somebody reported that somebody was filling in wetlands.
oh!
So I just want, sent it off to you guys to take a drive by and see if there was anything to note.
175, how close is that to the,
Not that far, I would.
how close is that to the Lucier's self-storage building, I wonder?
It's just south a little bit.
Yeah. It's on the other side.
Here, did I leave that window open?
Of course not.
No, don't be silly. Come on. That doesn't feel right, that a map of this scale shows no wetlands whatsoever.
Because it's not on.
Oh, because I hit the wrong one, that's why. Okay, now let's zoom back in. So, well, the first thing I can say is, as near as we can tell, there's no wetland fillings at 175. Now, is it behind?
Oh, Peter. Why'd you bring that up? I went to the Board of Assessors, that little strip right there.
Yep.
They could never find the ownership of that.
Oh, interesting.
Wait a second.
Really?
Yeah, nothing comes up.
Peter, I am seeing on MassGIS, the wetland on the north side of 122, there's a connection across
Ah, okay.
and going to the wetland to the west. What that is, I don't know, but there's some hydraulic connection.
What the hell is going on here? The question, yeah, so,
Who started the big piece for that?
To the left, Lucier, or his sister, I think.
I'm gonna call quits on this meeting soon. It's not
How big, how wide is that strip, 50 feet?
Thereabouts.
So the typical, everybody left 50 feet for, yeah.
We don't know if that was the original road or something.
Oy.
It's not even
All right, I'm gonna keep going with, I don't think I care about the strip right now. And the lack of information in that, in the GIS database. Does Oliver show anything else?
Not substantially different.
All right, so, right, so this is, so there's a complaint against 175 Barre Paxton where clearly, not clearly, where there are no map wetlands on the property. Is that email in the packet?
It's in the, I don't remember if I uploaded it or not, but it is in the Concom email address box.
Ah, okay, I can find that then. Go to the correct mailbox. I have too damn many mailboxes here. Wetlands off Brintnal.
This is the one that I couldn't
Oh,
see
there we
in the
go.
back.
That's, oh yeah. Oh, zoom in so people can read it. So this is the email that came in. Filling in near wetlands, dumping loads of gravel and rocks, not sure if he has applied for plan or permits. And it was happening, whatever day this was.
June
Oh, June 21,
21st.
so we're right on top of this then.
So I did drive by, and you can't see anything from the road because this is where like the berm is in front of the road, and the house sits a little high up.
Anybody else go past there? Probably not, huh?
It's, you really can't see anything.
Really can't see anything. Okay, so,
Because I would assume it'd have to be way, way back there.
well, let's just do it's only the very back edge of the property that's in the 100. And even, well, okay, 13 feet, basically, that's not a lot. So if he were doing anything back here, he should be far enough away.
Oliver does show something connecting those two wetlands.
Yeah, like it does definitely come off the street.
Oh, from here and comes down.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with right along here.
Somewhere right in that vicinity, just
Yep.
south of their property line.
Yeah, because this property line, this sure looks, I mean, it probably is a walkway or a driveway.
Hold on. I have the street map up from the street view. So, sorry, I'll show you in a second. So that's the house up on the little hill there.
Yep.
And there is like this side driveway that does kind of wrap around back.
Okay.
I can imagine it was only a direct neighbor to be able to see that happening that far back from the road.
Yeah.
I think the house to the
If I do.
there is like one house that is kind of equal elevation, I thought, but otherwise there's not
Aha.
really easy.
It's this guy right here. Let me also, just for the sake of argument, bring up the contour, which isn't as helpful as I would like, but
You
in
can
fact,
even
then
kind
let
of see
me
the
also
color.
turn off this so we can see
Okay.
it. It's not insanely steep. But again, if he's doing stuff right here,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, and that would actually make sense with what he would see.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, maybe it's time for just a quick letter
Mhm.
to Mr. McLaughlin saying that we have heard reports that there's a lot of dumping going on of, what did he say, rocks and dirt?
Yeah, gravel, I think.
Where are you? Nope.
Dumping loads of gravel and rocks.
For some reason, I can't even see it anymore, so whatever. So, that we've received reports of this. I would probably note that there is a wetland to the south of his property. It's to the south and west, I guess. And the back edge of his property, the south, I would call that the southern edge of the property, could be jurisdictional. So if, I mean, what I would say is maybe something,
Invite
Just
them
our
to the next
standard
meeting?
potential violation,
yeah.
or we've been received.
We've been informed, we'd like to have a discussion to make sure that there isn't a violation. Maybe that's all we should say then.
Yeah,
Sure,
and come
so
to the
just-
next
And
Yeah,
invite him
invite
to
him.
the next meeting.
Got it.
It would depend on what that connection is south of his property, but if that happens to be an intermittent stream,
Mm.
then there'd be more of the south end of his property that would be within 100 feet,
Yeah.
Yep.
potentially.
And I think it is a little bit bigger than what it's mapped as. You can see it's a little bit,
Right.
as I like to call it, lumpy. Looks lumpy
It does.
when it's wet.
Alrighty. So let's just do that. We'll see what happens next time. We'll continue this one on.
Peter, not to backtrack, but on the 61A land, I'm just gonna send a correspondence to the select board. Do we need to have a vote? The commission had no comment?
No, we have no action we can take, so we don't have to vote on
Okay,
anything.
so I can just put that in the letter then
Yeah.
to them, okay.
Sit in a short chair in a second.
Okay. Anything else on 175 Barre Paxton? Moving on to our friends at 101 and 103 Glenwood Road. So, here's what happened, Scott.
Where are we? Who is this?
Okay,
So, this story starts at the rail trail.
Oh,
Because what's Hooper's address?
I was just wondering if you fixed the water line in the backyard?
131?
I think it's 133.
That could be it.
133, 141.
141, yep.
Our story starts
Conservation
here.
may be required.
So this,
Ah,
the rail trail is right
I don't
here.
know if that's
Okay.
just standard, though.
Now, water comes, this is a hill on Glenwood, so it runs down here, and in fact, there's some work done recently by the DPW to fix this whole, it's not a swale, there's actually a pipe.
Yep.
And there are a couple of visible on the ground inlets where water can run in. And it runs right down and runs underneath the rail trail and dumps onto his property, which is making his property very wet.
mm-hmm.
Let's not get onto that right now. One day, Jared and I were looking at this to see if there's any other advice we can give to Mr. Hooper, because frankly, there's nothing Concom can do, there's nothing DPW can do. Perhaps the rail trail folks will help reroute down this swale, maybe, blah, 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 blah. But I had parked my car about here and said, oh, I want to take a look at all this work that Joe did. And so I walked up Glenwood a little bit to this driveway and noticed that on the side of the driveway was a pipe that's throwing water into the system. It was a dry day. Jared and I went up, introduced ourselves. This gentleman said, oh, yeah, we've had all kinds of problems with water. It all really comes from around here.
Those are the houses Bobo built, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
And let's just zoom in a little and see how close these two houses are to the wetland, and I would call it in the wetland, because I'm not going to be particularly charitable today.
Mm-hmm. That's map wetland.
That is
And
mapped.
what's it look on the building plan? When they
Nothing.
actually-
What building plan? They didn't do an NOI.
Not a surprise, but okay. Because I know the one closest to Real Trail had a ton of water when Hickey built that one.
Oh, yeah.
There was, that one just comes out of the ground. Okay.
Well, this has water coming out of the ground,
Yep.
and then they had a surprisingly large set of stuff that they do up here in this hill and down here in this flat land, and it goes over here across the driveway and then runs to air here where we can see it literally running across the ground. Yeah, it's not a big pipe, it's a small flexi.
Yeah, it's a 4-inch pipe.
Okay.
And then on top of it, because Bobo still owes this land, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobo's being a dick. Shocking.
I mean,
Bobo
Surprising.
built a giant berm along here so that even when water runs, it can't even run towards the wetland. It has no choice but to run along the berm, which is nothing more than complicating his water problems. That's the situation. Oh, that's right. And so you found the plans?
These are the septic
septic.
plans from Board of Health,
Board of
because
Health.
you guys wanted to see the soil testing.
Right.
Because there was a question of whether or not the wetland existed or was wet when the houses were built.
So many ways around that. So, that's sort of what led us to here. We do not want to punish the current landowners because it doesn't make sense, and it's not like they can correct anything anyway.
right.
So what did we find?
It doesn't have anything good. I have to look more at the chart, the Munsell chart, because I don't keep that in the top of my head. Oops, I must do. This little 10 by ours.
typical for
Yeah.
soil color.
Mm-hmm. So it's not anything.
Groundwater is shallow though.
Yeah.
It's no more than 3 feet down, and I'm assuming based on the grading design, they filled.
Ledge over, that's just.
Oh,
clay.
yeah.
Oh, they definitely filled.
They definitely, yeah, right.
126 runs this way, which it used to be 122. Yeah, which makes sense.
Who the hell let him put it right there? It's not like he did it 30 years ago. We went, eh.
Now,
It was recent.
one of my questions is where were their tests? Are they mud?
1, 2,
Oh, I
3,
see.
4, all in the front.
Oh!
Where's
Which
the
is
system?
away from the wetlands.
Out
Mhm.
front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this town water? That's,
No.
No.
it can't be. Oh, there's the well.
Well, in the back.
Which would be in the wetland.
There's plenty of water.
It does have this lovely general note. That's about it. It's probably just spec.
Yeah, probably.
I'm sure. And they never. We have no record of them coming to us for approval.
No, but they did state in their email that they did obtain proper permitting when they built these houses.
Who said that?
They did.
What was like Mary?
Oh, interesting. Then would you mind replying and asking for their wetland evaluation?
Sure.
Who did it?
So this
Where,
is-
what maps did they use? Where did they evaluate and how? All that cool stuff that I love asking when I want to put somebody on the spot. And this is the neighbor?
Yes, this is 101. So again, nothing exciting.
Yeah, similar results.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
What was that?
No, just the differences. That's all.
And what year were these done? 18, okay.
They raised that one a lot.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
I wonder why.
Almost 8 feet of fill right there.
Yep.
I can kind of see where Barre come off the road now.
Mm-hmm.
Over to the road. 120.
It seems like an odd place for there to be a wetland though.
Well, if you look.
Sort of bigger back.
Yeah.
There's more out back than.
Yeah, yeah. It's more from the.
Because what I remember from the site walk is to the west, it continues to rise up. And then obviously.
Right, well, I will agree, this does go uphill.
Yeah, and then what, in the east of
Going
it,
down
it
at
drops,
the school.
it drops down quite a bit down to Glenwood Road.
Right.
It's just, I mean, obviously the maps show it, just based on the topography and our observations out there, it just seemed like an odd spot that there would be a wetland there, but DEP maps show wetland.
Yeah. Now, if Bobo does have the wetland stuff that says ain't no wetlands,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna argue with them about it, it's just,
I mean, the maps have been wrong before.
Mm-hmm.
oh
Made
yeah.
all the time. I
Yep.
mean,
And I agree, this is,
It's a
this-
weird.
it feels isolated from everything around it, so I don't know why it would collect and make a wetland there.
Right.
But I also don't know what it was like before the houses were built. Other than,
Maybe there was a depression there before.
No, there was always ice there.
yeah,
In the wintertime, it's horrible up there, always has been.
So we'll ask the questions, get some answers, we'll evaluate it next time.
Got it.
Oh, 165 Cannon Road, oh God.
Well, we got some. I'm sorry. It's been such a long day.
I did invite Wendy to attend, but I didn't hear back from her.
We did get some answers last time. So she did confirm that the area in question, there is livestock. And Tamika got some lovely conversation from the Holden agent that went against what she said, that they were all set.
No!
People don't lie.
Don't scare me like that. And basically, yes, they stopped enforcement, but because it wasn't in Holden. So. I don't know.
So I'm having a conversation with the police chief tomorrow. Because I'm going to learn a little bit about administrative warrants.
Mm.
What's the deal? Yeah.
Oh,
Just curious.
okay. So
Let's fill you in.
I'm going to let somebody else do the fill-in this time. Because I bet they can do it faster than I can. Go ahead, Melissa.
Okay, so essentially this lady's got like only six deer on the property at 165 Cannon, so it's split between Holden and Rutland. And there's this little finger that's in between the two towns that is a MACC tributary. So initially the DCR got the complaint because it's just not allowed.
Right.
Like livestock is not allowed. So they reached out to us and we sent our standard potential violation, please come. And it's basically been no.
It's it's right.
Yes,
It's Central Tree Road and then switches to Cannon Road.
And so essentially we've asked her to come. We really just wanted to know,
Try 91.
Oh, yeah, 91.
Do 91 Central.
are livestock in this area? She finally confirmed yes. And come to find out from the Holden Concom, she sent over kind of the pictures that she had that the cows have compacted the soil and eaten all the vegetation in this tributary. So what we try to explain is that specific activities in agricultural land are exempt, but the land as a whole is not exempt, and livestock cannot be in a resource area.
So we were actually alerted to this by DCR, by Jen at DCR, because what a shock, they're concerned with water quality.
Yeah.
No.
And they have been nothing but obstructive.
Mm-hmm.
She did say that she's asked them several times to put up fencing, and they refused. And I guess Holden's animal control officer is involved because there's not proper shelter being provided for the cattle either. Yeah.
So Dick, what were you going to say?
This is the last house that's on,
Yes.
before the
Yeah.
town.
This here's the property line.
Okay.
Sorry, the town line.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what? This is Rutland's jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
This is Holden's jurisdiction.
Sylvia's old place.
Yes.
And I know the building inspector asked me a question about a storage bin that was dropped off, and I said that was illegal to do that. And he was gonna go have it pulled out, but yes, I remember animals being there because I've been down there because of the next 4 houses were not supposed to be built there because of the bylaw in town, and it's.
I don't think they have any more animals.
They don't. Okay.
I don't believe so,
All right.
because their horse is buried right about over there.
Yeah, I was told that their horse is no longer there.
So I think part of where the miscommunication was is that the people at 91 Central Tree complied, so therefore Holden took no further action with them, but not with the Somersets?
The 165
Yeah.
Cannon or whatever
Yep.
the magic number is.
Yes. So, I'll admit they said we're taking no further violation, but it was for 91 Central Tree, not the Somersets.
So she won't allow us on the property.
Really?
All we said the first time was, we just wanna come and look around. And we'll make a judgment and we'll figure out where to go from it. No.
Okay.
COVID, you all spread diseases to my cattle. By the way, I'm completely exempt from everything because I'm an agricultural. And,
So what are you hoping to?
So we just want to go on the property to determine if this area is in fact a wetland. If it's not, then case closed, have a nice day. If
What
it
does
is,
Holden say? Holden's obviously seen it.
Holden believes that it is. They have the photos, but because it's in Rutland, they don't
Yeah.
have the enforcement.
Right.
So that's where we're at.
And you're trying to get a warrant for what?
well, there is a process to get administrative warrant, which gives us, by court ruling, action, the ability to enter the property without the homeowner's permission. And by the way, we would also be accompanied by at least one police officer. Excuse me, constable.
Constable?
But I
mean,
I have to discover what the process is, and Chief Monaco will know what it is to get an administrative warrant, and if it costs us anything, and if whatever it is. So that will be an extremely, extremely unfriendly move, but
and that was
What
unfortunate
other choice do we have?
because
Yeah.
we really do want to take this or leave this at the local level.
right.
I mean, because we
No,
also
Because the next step would, of course, be to call DEP, but they're not gonna do anything for something this small.
No.
If they haven't been willing to work with DCR,
yeah.
they're not gonna work
Yeah.
with us on this, so.
And this is Rutland's watershed to Muskapog,
Yep.
so you guys have, in my opinion, jurisdiction.
Yep.
Big time for that. Yeah, the building inspector did say that there was a tussle going between the two families.
And actually, what's funny is, to me, I don't remember if you were on,
We never dealt with animals, Peter, last time.
No, we didn't, no, but Rutland Concom got notice from Holden Concom about something at the
Okay.
Cannon Street property, and Joe and I went and
Yeah.
asked them to keep us appraised, and we never heard from them again.
Yeah.
But, so I knew right off the bat when she said, oh, Holden doesn't have any issue with us, I knew that was a lie.
Yeah. And she also said DCR had been out there and
And they
had
didn't
no
have a
issue,
problem.
but then Jen clarified it was that DCR representative
Yeah.
that reported it to her, but he worked, was it the Wachusett?
Different watershed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
watershed. So
Yeah.
then that was when she admitted that, yes, the livestock were in that area.
So,
I'll have Jen come on and walk with you.
oh, you betcha I'll let her know about that.
Yeah, they won't let DCR on either.
They won't let anybody on, so
Yeah,
we're
bring
gonna.
her on that walk.
Oh, yeah.
I like Jennifer.
So that's where we are with this one.
Oh, goody.
So you want me to keep it on for next time?
Yes, let's keep it on for
In case
next
you have more
time. I will
info.
discuss
Okay.
with the commission everything, well, pertinent information about what we're going to do next.
Yeah.
But we really only have two courses that I see. One is we get ourselves on the property or we pass the buck to DEP.
Yeah.
And I don't want to pass the buck to DEP because I don't think they're going to do anything. So we'll at least evaluate it. I'll let everybody know.
Can't bring Board of Health into it? Public water supply.
Yeah.
I haven't, but we could.
I mean, it's public water supply, it's public health
If
period.
we can show the tributary to Muskapog, yeah.
Even if it shows on a map, you know.
Right.
I mean, that's a pretty big, that's a bigger trump than DEP, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, can be. Yeah. I hadn't thought about Board of Health, but you're right. All right, so yeah, we'll carry this on and we'll move on.
Okay.
MACC dues. How much is it this year?
I forget off the top of my head. I uploaded it's $400 something dollars, I think.
Oh, no, not that.
434.
Oh, there.
It stayed the same this year. Very exciting.
So, is this when we tell them, this is our yearly, here are all our commissioners?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we'll put it off, I mean, let's approve it tonight,
Mhm.
but actually do it after everybody's on, so we can get the right list of people to them.
Okay.
So I'd like a motion to pay the MACC dues.
Moved.
Second.
Clark,
Aye.
Denza,
Aye.
Gentillucci,
Aye.
Crane, aye. It's 8:00. We are not talking about bylaws and regulations tonight. I forced Tamika to put it on just so we'd have it, but,
I'll leave it there.
Oh darn.
so we are working on a bylaw for Concom. And we'll also be working regulations, and one of the things that's changed is that we are likely to start taking on more stormwater responsibilities. Because,
You gonna hire an engineer?
we don't hire an engineer, but we are talking about a conservation agent that would be able to do it.
That's my only problem with that.
Yep. Yes, and I think I think the conservation agent will be essential. I don't think we can do it without it, but DPW doesn't have
No.
the manpower or the wealth of knowledge we have about how to control sediment and all that other good stuff, so.
That's your
What's that?
nothing.
I have a quick question before we adjourn.
Yes.
Are we going to need to do something with updating the electronic signatures that we have recorded with the Registry of Deeds, because we've got different folks?
Now that we have new members?
'Cause
And
I
we
will
never had
say-
Joe's signature anyway.
No, and I will say that that has been extremely helpful, and it really helps me streamline the process of
Yeah,
getting
oh, I'm all in favor of
these documents
streamlining.
out to them, so I was hoping if we
And
need
we're,
to
we're still
amend it,
allowed
we
to
could
do
do
that,
that.
right?
Yes, we are
Yeah.
allowed to do
We are.
that. That was that's good before. I'll double check.
Okay,
I'll let you know.
okay.
Was that part of the extension that they put into next year?
That's just you can do it.
Okay,
That's
cool.
That's not COVID related.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
always been there.
Yep.
And it's been definitely been a great.
We just didn't
Yeah.
take
We
advantage
just
of it
didn't use
before.
it ever.
Yeah,
Right.
no town really used it until
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah,
because everyone was out
that
of
was my
meeting.
experience too.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll let me know if we
Yes.
have to add.
I'll check
Mitch and
with
Scott and-
council.
Okay. Yeah, because Joe's not on there, so we only had Bill, you, Jared, Skip, and Melissa.
Yeah.
The
So yeah,
signatories.
let's, how much does it cost us to do that?
105.
What's that?
105.
Okay, we have money in an account, we can figure that out, I'm not worried about it, but, okay. Now for the sentence that the people next door love to hear, is there
Move.
any other business before the commission
Ah.
tonight?
I was ready.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Wow. Clark,
Aye.
Denza,
Aye.
Gentillucci,
Aye.
Crane, aye. Thank you
Oh.
all so very much.
I just threw the
And
paper
just so they
clip
can
down
hear
the
it,
hall.
we are adjourned.